Welcome back, fellow passengers, and Happy New Year! I'm BusyBee, your host, excited to dive into the pulp culture from 2005. I'm joined by Hijinks, who is groaning internally at the thought of my addiction to trivia.
Ugh. Oh wait, that was externally.
And externally, I guess, folks. So without further ado, my new set of trivia that I had to go research right before this episode because
Somebody,
I realized I didn't have
somebody was not
anything.
prepared.
Look, I did a lot of research for 2004, but didn't realize we were in 2005 now. Well, 2025, 20 years ago.
Funny how that happens after the new year.
Strange.
Weird.
So, doing my research, I found out that January of '05 was really big on solar system events. There were like four that month. Eris,
Real.
the biggest dwarf planet to date, was discovered. However, the discovery technically took place 14 months to find because the images they found it in were taken in 2003. Next, Deep Impact is launched from Cape Canaveral to study a comet known as Temple 1. And then the Huygens spacecraft lands on Titan, one of the moons of Saturn, just 2 days later. Lastly, the most intense solar particle event in recorded history is observed before the month is out. That is a lot of space stuff. But, let's switch gears back to this world, specifically a very lost island. This episode is titled Outlaws, and this is Lost Ate My Podcast. Hi, Jinx.
Baby girl, busy
I,
bee.
I miss you. I saw you last week. Okay, so how'd you like the episode?
I liked it. I do remember this episode. I remember it from way back when.
I remember him having a vendetta against a boar.
I kind of vaguely remember that. No, I remember the stuff with him and his mom and dad. That was really sad. Oh, we got to find out what Sawyer's first name is. It's
James.
James. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And we discovered that he met Jack's dad, which I thought was
yeah.
awesome. And also, he killed Meredith Gray's dad.
Okay, this is not a crossover with Grey's Anatomy, no matter how hard you try to make it. That would be
It's just
totally weird.
Grey's Anatomy was out around this time. This was out around this time, clearly.
Was
So
Grey's
I keep
Anatomy out in
seeing
2005?
Grey's Anatomy came out in '04.
No, okay.
Yep. Yep, 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 yep,
I
yep.
couldn't remember.
And if I remember right, he does make an appearance in the first season. So at this point, he is Meredith's dad.
Oh my God. Well, then he shouldn't have showed up in any other season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he showed up in a couple other seasons.
I said he shouldn't have, though. He got
Hmm?
killed if it was a true crossover.
So yeah, a couple of the other things, small things that happened in the episode.
Yes.
Let's see. We had, oh, what was it? I just had it in my head. Oh, Charlie dealing with his PTSD.
Well, first being in denial about his PTSD, and then, you know, Saeed having his little.
Also, I love that Sim and Roll Hurley just assume that because Saeed said he was in the war, he must have Gulf War syndrome. And Saeed's like, that was the other side. Oh, right. You were on our side. Oh,
That doesn't mean the other side didn't get it too.
I know. It's just
But then, but then,
Hurley's just
but then he did do like well, what's the other thing called? PTSD? Yeah, that
yeah,
one.
that one. Just
But
let's gloss over the fact I assumed you're on the correct side of the war.
I do appreciate the fact that Hurley seems to be the only one like kind of paying attention to like
He just killed a guy, and he went and helped him bury Ethan. We saw the last of Ethan. We saw his hand.
his chubby hand.
He's a little bit chunky.
That was that was
It got
obviously not William
bloated.
A. Brother.
It's bloated.
That was obviously not William A. Brother's hand. They did not pay for his hand to be in that episode.
It was a
But
cameo.
yeah, it was a William Maypother or Ethan's hand played by
William Maypother's
not
hand.
William well, not William Maypother. Um
Totally not William Maypother.
totally not William Maypother. Um
That was their way of forcing him off the set. Like, look, you get to be here. Can
Look,
you go
you're
now?
really, really dead. You're not coming out of
They
the
are
sand.
burying you. I don't care if they say you're a vampire. Go, zombie.
Truly, truly, dearly, nearly, not nearly dead, but truly, barely dead.
Oh my gosh, it reminds me of that one robot chicken Star Wars thing where they were like all the people on the Death Star pretend to die when Darth Vader chokes them out. And then they get a disguise and they come back as Bob the janitor. Is that what they did
Yep,
with William Maypother?
exactly. That's right. Wait, aren't you? Nope, nope. I forgot. It was like
No,
the
no.
beard and then the mustache.
The
I
glasses with
remember
the
those.
nose and the mustache hanging off of it.
God, I miss the Star Wars. What chickens? Those are awesome.
They're
Um,
amazing. If y'all have it, save
anyway,
those.
off topic. You know that they saw those at. I mean, they premiered them at Skywalker Ranch with George Lucas.
I think I remember watching this the thing on that.
It's on like one of the yeah, it's on one of the
And
videos.
he was
But yeah,
cackling the whole time.
of course he was. Um, because he voices himself
That's
and
right, he does.
when he gets in the elevator with the super fan,
Oh yeah.
which is the best.
Pop on my back.
And then the super fan saves him from the other fans. Yeah, all right.
Some of those
Okay.
fan costumes were very accurate and very disturbing at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Lost. We very
Tangent.
rarely stay on topic here, okay? You
Who
know
what?
what? When did those come out?
No, nothing like continuing to veer right off the road. Well, it's not like J. Oh, you know what? JJ directed Star Wars. Not that people have problems with that. I never did, but hey, it's related. Anyway, um,
Oh my God.
is it in that time zone?
Robot Chicken started in 2005.
I
We're not off
don't think this.
topic. It's just more trivia.
I do not think that. Yeah. See, you could add that to your 2005. See,
I didn't know. I haven't had a chance to look up the thing.
um, really, Bristow, right now. You're using the scratching post.
Hmm.
Anyway, uh, so yeah, I just found it interesting that Hurley seems to be like the big old ball of feelings, the
He's
feeling
the den
sensitive.
mom.
He
We've
is the
discussed
den
this.
mom. He's checking on everybody, making sure everybody's doing okay, telling
Make
other
sure
people
Claire
to go check on other
eats.
people, make sure Claire's eating, make sure that Charlie's not going through a psychotic episode.
He found the manifest. For God's sakes.
Yeah. So I like that. And it was
Den
true.
mom. All
You
right,
can't just
let's do a head count.
yeah. But just the fact that, even though Saeed tried to, you know, blow it off, and even though Charlie tried to blow Saeed off, you know, he was like, not so fast, Buster. I know
He's
you
like,
better than you know yourself.
It doesn't matter if you think you're okay, it's still going to stick with you, and that's okay. You just got to
Yep.
stop pretending you're alone.
Stick to your ribs.
Hmm.
Anyway, but yeah, so but getting back to that conversation that Sawyer has with Jack's dad, and then at the end where Jack is kind of like, "Why are you asking me about my dad?"
Well, because
And
they
you
mentioned
think,
the Red
and
Sox thing.
yeah, well, but
That's how you
you
attaches
think
it.
that maybe Sawyer's going to say something, but then he doesn't.
No. Because the last thing that Jack's dad told him was, "Oh yeah, no, my son's a great person. I should probably totally pick up the phone and call him. I'm not going to do it though."
I was like,
There were
"Wow,
edits
language."
there, people. There were edits.
There will be edits.
Look,
Um,
the beginning of this is already chop suey as far as I'm concerned.
sweet.
There are issues with my microphone.
So are we doing the fandom topic now or later?
Well, let's finish talking about the episode. Make sure we get it all out of our system.
Okay.
Um, I love the fact that Kate just absolutely rags on Sawyer, like, uh, I think you're
How about
tracking
the boar?
Boone.
Oh yeah, I've been following you for the past 2 hours. You've tracked human and Boone and yourself, and the fact that he was following
A
himself at
couple of
one point
birds.
is also hilarious.
It reminds me of that one thing from Peter Pan. The Lost Boys are chasing an animal that's chasing the pirates that are chasing the Lost Boys around a tree.
That sounds about right.
Sounds about right. And then him just like, I'm gonna use the baby as bait. And she's like, absolutely not. What the heck?
Him walking around with a little squealy baby piggy. She's like, "What is the matter with you?"
I didn't hurt it. Yeah, because Kate
No,
didn't let you have the chance.
that's right. And he totally would have used the baby as bait. Because that's, I mean, James. You know his name.
James.
You know he really was called Jimbo. I don't care.
Yeah, especially if he was from the South.
Hey, there was a guy on one of the opposing soccer teams we played against whose name was Jimbo. Did not look like a Jimbo, but his name was Jimbo.
Oh, we mentioned this before we started recording. Do you want to mention where you think he's from?
Oh, yes. So he said in the episode, he claims to be from Tennessee, but that is not a Tennessee accent. Well, and also, I do believe Josh Holloway is actually from Georgia. I am from Georgia. His accent is Georgia. I also went to college in Tennessee for 3.5 years. There ain't no twang in his accent at all. So, um,
Atoll.
I'm sure that they've told him to just use his regular accent because it's easier. And most people don't know the difference between a Georgia and a Tennessee accent, except for those from both states or who have spent time in both states. Yes, Tennessee has twang, Georgia has drawl. Josh
And he
Holloway has a
definitely
drawl.
drawls.
He drawls.
It's such a
But anyway,
pretty drawl, though.
so I don't know if in that, I can't remember. In this episode, he says he is from Tennessee. I don't know if that's part of his bit, but Josh Holloway's from Georgia.
His shtick.
And as my dearly beloved aunt who passed away,
Love me
I
some
can
soul.
promise, yeah, I can promise you that I don't think she ever understood what was going on in Lost, but she loves Sawyer. She loves him. So he was there
Don't
for
we
them
all?
Southern.
Don't
He
we
was
all?
there for them Southern ladies. So anyway, yes, that was my little input about his accent and where he's from.
But you know what? Fair. I also love how to make him feel better, uh, Locke just goes on a tangent about his dead sister and a dog and yada yada yada. Hey, you know what?
No,
After the whole thing, the boar stopped picking on him.
it seemed to work. Yeah, I mean, people you can't knock Locke is being crazy if the stuff he says ends up making sense and apparently working.
Hmm.
The, the boar is not coming for you if you decide that the boar is not coming for you. Huh.
Weirdly enough, Sawyer decided the boar was coming for him after the first night. And guess what? It just kept
Guess
on
what? The
coming.
boar kept coming from him. And then when he decided the boar wasn't coming from him, the boar stopped coming from him.
Talk
Hmm.
about manifesting destiny.
Yep. The Sawyer and the boar are
I will win a
psychically
million dollars.
connected. Yeah,
Oh.
from a boar. The boar will find me $1 million.
The boar is worth $1 million.
Okay, go.
It's made
It's
of
a million
gold.
dollars. Boar poops $1 million. He will sniff out the $1 million suitcase that was on his plane.
It
Wait,
will
what?
find Hurley. That's all it's going to do.
BusyBee, spoiler alert.
He's worth 83,000 minimum.
Spoiler alert still.
That's
Not for
not
long
spoiler
though.
alert. That's what he played Uh,
I know, but
what for?
the $1 million is a spoiler alert.
Oh, I forgot he actually is a millionaire. I just thought it was a couple 100,000.
No.
We'll cut all this out.
All of the above.
Sorry, folks. Hijinks and I, because we are recording, we need something to do with our hands. She is crocheting and she has her piece currently sitting on her head, and I am knitting because we
And
are
I'm
secretly
only
little old
looking at the
ladies.
top of your head.
Sorry. They don't see the videos. I have no need to look at the
Oh,
camera the whole time.
no. Rude. Are we
Hey.
done with the episode yet?
Trying to think if there's anything else in this episode. Besides Kate bashing him the whole time. And then Jack's thing with the dad, but we were
Oh,
gonna go into
but
that.
oh, also, by the way, and I did find it ironic that, it was Claire trying to trying to come to Charlie and Charlie pushing her away
Yeah.
after all that time. It was like what goes around comes around. Hey, I had some dreams and you were in them. Oh, that's nice. See you later. Bye. I could go
You
be
wanna go for a
somewhere.
walk? Nah.
And then he's like, now, when, that was just ironic, of course. But
Claire tried. She understood what he went through, but he didn't give two craps.
yep, he was like, sorry.
I did it to protect you. You looked at me like I was a monster. I'll be the monster. Fine. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to be your friend anymore because I shot a dude.
Yeah. Sorry if that changes me, Claire.
Yeah,
I've seen some things.
I've seen. I can't be around you and your baby. And I did it to protect you and your baby. Anyway, yeah, I just found that ironic. Isn't it ironic?
Alanis
Or,
Morissette?
yep,
That's what I thought.
or Lannis. Depending on who you're talking.
Alanis, Alanis. Potato, potato.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's Canadian.
I'm sorry. No, that's what they say.
That's what they say. She's not sorry. Oh, oh, stop. I don't want volume. Shush. Okay. Um, yeah. So
Mhm.
that was the only other thing I could think of.
All right, then we are going to switch into our fandom topic,
Finally,
which is
anyway,
going to be an ongoing fandom topic as the episodes
as
progress.
they appear. Yeah, it's a
Because I know we're
continuing.
talking about it in the next episode because Hijinks and I are recording too tonight.
Ta-da!
So we will be mentioning this again. However, for right now, we are going to dive into some of the threads as we both hold up string. String.
Like stream.
Some of the threads we are seeing being woven into the past. So,
Yeah.
like,
So one thing that if you haven't already realized, but you should, is that there have obviously Easter eggs, big thing, and it just gets epi I mean, epidemically transparent as the seasons go on. It starts with little things and then it expands and then it becomes a monster. But, there are the one thing about Lost, though, that you need to understand is, though, there are things, placed in episodes, especially in future seasons, that you can research and it can mean something. And they have ARCs that you can research and find out stuff and get these little neat little Easter eggs, and it can be entertaining for you and give you inside information, but you also don't have to.
mm,
uh,
this is purely
that's
for the super fans.
yeah, and that is something else that I mean, I'm not really talking about that right now, but the something that's kind of part of the show that they're trying to, they'll when something that's happened starting to happen right now in this season that you'll notice more and more is how everyone on the plane, their lives started to crisscross the closer they got to getting on the plane. So, like, they all seem to kind of kismet to be on this plane together. And, in this episode with Outlaws, that instance was Sawyer happening to be at the same bar that Jack's dad was getting sloshed at right before he ended up passing away and Jack having to come and get his body. So this
Mhm.
was Jack's dad was in Australia. Sawyer was in Australia, and they have the conversation. He makes that saying about the Red Sox.
Mhm.
That later, Sawyer hears Jack say the same thing, and a light bulb goes on in Sawyer's head where he realizes he has met Jack's dad and had a conversation with him. And then Jack tells him his dad is dead. And then Sawyer's not dumb. He's realizing he probably talked to Jack's dad.
Within maybe
Might have
days of his
been,
death,
yeah, he
depending.
might have been one of the last people to talk to Jack's dad. And he has this kernel of information. In all honesty, he probably knows, he didn't, he knows that he did not tell him what that information, he didn't tell Jack about that conversation. And there could be multiple reasons for that, but it being Sawyer, he's probably holding on to it for
Hmm.
reasons. For, you know, whether he's going to tell him one day or not. But you always got to assume that Sawyer will hold that piece of information to give to Jack at a time when he feels it'll be useful for him, not Jack Sawyer.
Yeah, no, he
That's
doesn't
just
give a
how Sawyer
crap
is.
about Jack's feelings.
But, the interactions, whereas the first time we had interactions, it was like Jen behind Jack in the check line at LAX, or, you know, Sawyer being, brushing past Kate the um, at the police station. It wasn't really a significant thing. It didn't really give us that much information or reveal anything to us. But now they're becoming kind of more significant. And
Hmm.
there's something that happens in the next episode too that it
It's
gives us,
massive. Hmm.
yeah, that there's a little bit more. It's not just like a brushing past. There's clues essentially where
There
they
are
are more.
Easter eggs.
They're actual. There's something in the Easter egg instead of it just being a pretty little egg. It actually has a crack in it that's letting us peep inside. But like I said, in future seasons, I mean, this is where, like, my friend who I wrote the Lost Day of My Life book with, who his online name was Doc Arts, which, like I've said, or like we've talked about, that's an actual character in the show that
Doctor,
comes up
doctor.
later. Doctor. Um, he ran a Lost blog, and he was very into all the theories and all, because, like I said, Lost really leaned the writers and stuff. Some of them really leaned into the Easter eggs, and they're like the books that Sawyer reads, or sometimes like even stuff like the little toy airplane that Kate found, or little things like that. I'm not sure how much the airplane came into stuff, but anytime there was something that was focused on for any reason, um, there would be theories behind it. And the
Hmm.
fuselage storyboard would be flooded with theories. And his blog, he would go down the rabbit hole
And that is
of
what you.
all of those. Yeah, I mean, he would, just they would use just about anything, the names of different characters, the book, why, I mean, just so many things. And so, like I said, the first season wasn't quite as heavy with that, mainly because really each person's story was already kind of laid out, and there's a lot more of, the whole island was a mystery, so there's no reason to throw more mysteries into it quite as much.
And they were
We
mostly
had the
just
little ones.
focusing on each individual character's backstory. Now that we've
Yeah.
gotten most of them out of the way, except for the one that we're really waiting for, they're starting to weave together the loose ends and strands to kind of make a tightly woven tapestry that's
Well,
really hard to focus on from afar.
this first season, I mean, yes, the island's a mystery, but we're still more interested in the people
Yeah.
more than, I mean, you notice we've gone like a few up there, you know, well, until the next episode, we really haven't thought much. We get like periodic, things that have happened on the island, but we haven't seen the smoke monster like since the first couple episodes. There hasn't been a polar bear, there's been a boar, but some of the elements, we had Ethan,
You
but
didn't hear about
got
the
him
polar bear?
killed. I know, but you know how it's like we're not being inundated by the what's going on the island right now because it's like the show wants to make sure that we know all the people that we're dealing with and what their stories are. It's
Hmm.
and how usually how a pilot episode you know usually focuses on who the main characters are and you learn their backstories. Well, this show has so many characters. It takes a long, and because we're learning not, we're learning all their backstories over a period of time. It's they're having to go back and forth. It's taking a lot longer to do that. So we're only getting periodic blips of what the island is.
Hmm.
But as the season progresses and we know more about the characters and what their backstories are, we're getting closer and closer to to being able to focus more on the island and what's going on with the island. And honestly, after especially towards the end of the season and with the future seasons, there is more focus on the island and its mysteries, and that's where all the real heavy hitting theories and blogs and all the weirder Easter eggs. Like I said, that's when they really get into some of the more, you can go down the rabbit holes for all the Easter eggs and come up with all your theories or what the island is and what's going on with the characters and stuff. Or you can
Hmm.
just watch it and enjoy it without all that stuff, and it's still a great show. I was more that person. I mean, I had some vague theories about what's going on. I didn't really get into that stuff.
Neither did
But
I. It wasn't really my scene.
you were 10, 11, 12, something like that.
I was 10.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would have been amazed if you had gotten into all that. That would have been interesting. I
Just
mean,
whip out a notebook every episode, like,
yeah,
what's gonna happen now?
yeah, there were. But I mean, like I was aware of a lot of the theories. I mean, I heard some of them and, just because of, but like I said, I was almost strictly linear board. I only went to the threaded board if I was asked to or was pushed. I mean, I went every once in a while. I went over there, but I mean, and some of those theories did pop up on the linear board. I mean, we would talk about stuff as stuff was happening on the screen. But like I said, I never was out, looking up the titles of different books to try to figure out what they had to do with what was going on the island or any of that kind of stuff. So anyway, okay.
Well, Watership Down had a
Moving
bunny on it and it was down the rabbit hole. So,
bunnies. It's
bunnies.
all about
Yeah,
bunnies.
bunnies.
It's all about bunnies. Go ahead.
Alright, is there anything else we got for this episode?
I think that's it. Anything else?
Alrighty. If we think of anything else, you'll hear about it in the next episode because we're gonna record that next. Ah. However, I'd like to say welcome to our new subscribers that we have. And I have not seen any more comments on anything. So, but that's okay. Christmas
Okay.
season meant time for family. Not listening to your not quite favorite, not quite not favorite Lost Eat My podcast series.
Rude. Favorite. We're done.
You could just turn it on in the background and mute us and then we get the view or
That's what I do. I mean, what?
just listen to us on repeat. You don't have to like actually listen. Just help us find more people to drag into this.
Exactly. Kicking and screaming, just like me.
Yeah. You know what? Share this with all your friends and your enemies. Make them listen.
Andrew.
Any mild, maybe acquaintance, share it with them. Boss's ex-girlfriend, let's go for it.
Bosses. What in the world are you talking about?
Don't ask questions, mother. With that, we're
It's
going
just
to.
I know who you work for, and I'm just kind of worried what you're talking. I'm wondering what you're talking about. It's
I've
creeping me
heard of
out.
several, so let's go with that.
Okay, then.
All
Moving
right.
on.
We will let you all go. You all have a fantastic night or evening, whatever it is for you, and we will see you in next week's episode.
Toodles.
Oh, toodles.